Hello!
How are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not too bad. Tired.
Tired, so am I, mate.
Right, guys, we're going to be droning on a lot today, just because we can.
Yeah.
Basically.
We've got 2 episodes to record and we're both knackered, so it's going to go well. Welcome to episode 24 of The Bearded Opinion.
And in about an hour's time, it'll be welcome to episode 25.
I know. So yeah, today we'll be doing the usual. Games, movies and 5 news stories. We're going to be talking... What that? But I'll put my teeth back in. The movies we're talking about today are the new Star Wars film coming out.
Yeah.
And the new Jumanji film coming out. Yeah. And for the game, unfortunately, for December, it's slim fucking pickings.
Although, the game that we have chosen, I am very interested in.
It's Hello Neighbour.
Hello Neighbour.
Hello Neighbour. Hello Neighbour!
Oh, hello Sailor.
I'm glad I've got my medal on the
That's the fucking follow-up title, mate.
Hello Sailor.
Hello Sailor.
Are you breaking your fucking desk now?
Yeah, and then, basically, then we've got 5 news stories from our ever useful news reporting service, the Metro.
Yeah.
Just because they're free and they're impartial, generally.
Yeah.
So we'll dive straight in and we'll start off with the film as usual.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, looks interesting.
It does. They're being very close. Like for their trailers, they're not saying a hell of a lot. Normally, trailers will give you a good overview of the movie, but they're keeping it very close to the chest.
But I suppose they don't want to give too much away.
Oh no!
Especially, I mean, it's still early days. I mean,
we've got a month from recording.
It's about a month, from. I mean, obviously, this is where we're recording around the 22nd.
You guys will see this in 3 days because it's a weird month this month.
So, yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, obviously, we've been waiting for it for 2 years now, since episode 7.
Yeah, because last year we had...
Rogue One.
That were it.
Next year won't be episode 9, it will be...
Is it the Han Solo?
Yeah, it's Solo, a Star Wars movie.
And then the year after that,
it'll
we're
be
getting
episode 9. And they've just... Disney, I believe, have just confirmed that there will be another 3 films after.
10, 11 and 12?
Yes.
Because I know they're also... Because I know the original plan was 3
spin-offs, 3 continuations.
So I'm guessing 2018 will be Solo.
Yeah.
2019 will be episode 9. 2021 will be the last spin-off. The 3rd spin-off.
2020.
18 will be Oh yeah, 2020 will be
2020 will be the last spin-off.
Right.
And then potentially
2021,
like you say, 2021 could potentially be
episode
10. For the last spin-off though, because the spin-offs that we knew that we were definitely getting, of course, we were going to get Rogue One, we knew that. And we also knew about Han Solo. Now the other ones that they've mentioned are the Jar Jar Binks one, which I can't see happening because the amount of hate there is for Jar Jar Binks out there. Not from me, but from a lot of other people.
You know what I've discovered actually with Jar Jar. He wasn't liked in The Phantom Menace.
No.
In episode 2 and episode 3...
He's barely in it.
But no one really minded him. And in the extended universe of the Clone Wars, again, he was in it and no one really minded him too much.
No, but the thing is... Though,
and also some of the games...
If you look into a lot of the Star Wars stuff like I've done, Jar Jar Binks was meant for bigger and better things. But because he was so unliked, they removed the arc. He was actually going to be a Sith Lord comparable to Vader.
Really?
Which was what they were going to go along the lines of. He was going to be another apprentice.
Was he supposed to be instead of Grievous then?
Yes and no. They were going to play them alongside.
Right.
But that was the original plan. He was supposed to be this ultimate... He was going to be basically a Sith Lord, but working within the group, if you like, for Palpatine.
Because I know Darth Maul was meant for Maul, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he although he died, I know in
the Clone Wars, he's still alive because he's got the robot legs.
And he was meant to be more involved, wasn't he? And
but of course,
I really like Darth Maul as a character.
I mean, a lot of people did. I did as well. But
I really don't think he was annoying.
I think that they just have to. I mean, obviously, he's shown a lot in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And who's to say he made it out of the Clone Wars? And we don't...
No.
Unless you actually go and watch the Clone Wars animated series, you don't know about the Clone Wars, really, because as far as your understanding of the Clone Wars is, you watch Episode 2, the start of the war, and then you watch Episode 3, the end of the war. You don't see the war.
Yeah.
You only see the war if you watch the Clone Wars spin-offs, there's the animated longs, and then there's a lot of animated shorts.
Yeah.
And of course, even if you just watch the 2 main animated longs, you will learn, for a start off, why Anakin changed his hairstyle between episode 2 and 3, because he became Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
And you don't learn that unless you watch the animated. For me, I think what I'd like is for them to do more animated links for the newer sequels.
I wouldn't mind that.
Because
one thing I would like is, because obviously pretty much anything that came before 2014, I think it was, almost everything that came before that has been written, except for the main movies.
Yeah.
That's been written completely out.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore. So all we've got are the main 6 movies, a couple of official licensed Lucas things that came out as well that are considered canon by Disney and Lucas.
Yeah, like the Clone Wars spin-offs.
The Clone Wars spin-offs. There's the Marvel run of comics that are considered canon. There's
Star
the frog
Wars,
in my throat.
There's the Star Wars Rebels.
The Rebel
animated series.
Yeah,
that's also considered canon.
And there's a couple of other things. What I would like though, because obviously in the extended universe you had things of way before the Jedi. Well, not necessarily but like before Yoda, for example.
Well, you had basically pre-existing Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
So before Episode 1, Phantom Menace. And not just before, I'm on about like 1,000 years before.
Well, the Jedi, I know it's been confirmed.
The Knights of the Old Republic, which is still considered canon.
The original ones, I think you can track from something that is canon, and I can't tell you what it is. The start currently where we're at with the Star Wars universe in terms of what we know is 2,000 years before Yoda became
I'm pretty sure that follows
a Padawan. So we're talking at least nearly 3,000, because he's 900 years old in Episode 5, isn't he?
Or thereabouts. No one knows exactly his age.
He's 900 and a bit. So we're probably talking nearly 3,000 years is the earliest date. I'd like to see, if with them doing now 3 more spin-offs, I'd like to see some of not necessarily everything in those 3,000 years, because there's going to have been times where the Jedis were sat on their arse, picking the nose, going, "So Yoda, what do we do today, man?"
Yeah.
But some of the early Jedis, the mid Jedis, where they're learning.
Well, I would love to learn more. I would love to learn more about the race, the Jedi, not the Jedi,
yes.
the Jedi, the actual alien race that started the light side of the Force.
Yeah, because the Force.
Because the original Jedi, the original Force users, because they were obviously met along the original Sith. And if you do play...
Well, the original Sith now, the first Sith was a Jedi who wanted more.
If you
new canon, I don't know what the old canon.
If we go along the lines that the Knights of the Old Republic games are still considered canon, which they are officially LucasArts products, which they only allow canon if it's got the LucasArts badge onto it. They show you a lot of the tombs of the original Sith and Jedi, and it's the history that they give you in that, which is all accredited by Lucas, would make absolutely thrilling telling. Yeah, absolutely thrilling, because there was no laser swords back when these people were there. It was medieval.
They were. I think the canon for that is they were invented originally by the Sith now.
Yeah.
The original lightsabers were invented by the Sith now.
Yes,
I think
it would be completely weird to go to a cinema and watch a Star Wars film and there be no lasers.
Oh yeah, completely.
Or anything, but at the same time,
I would like to see that
it would be an amazing film to watch to actually show the birth of the Force.
See what I do, with the spin. If I was told, I want you to come up with an idea for the 3 spin-offs, I'd do the start of people realizing they can use the Force and using it for good, and then combine that with the birth of the Sith in one movie. So the first guy goes, "Fuck you guys, I want to be a bad guy," and then move on to when the Sith went mental, overpowered, and basically destroy themselves. Because the original set of Sith, they were almost as big as the Jedi.
Well, the Sith eventually became government, like the Senate
from
was.
what? Because I watched. For those of you guys wondering, if you want a history of Star Wars, look up History of Star Wars variant comics. He does it brilliantly. The guy he's done loads for comics, some anime and Star Wars. Go watch them if you want more history. But the way I understand it is, so you've got the start of the Jedi in the first Sith, then you've got the Sith destroying themselves. I'd use that as the next film, how the Sith went from several hundred to 2, the Master and the Apprentice, and then the third one, I'd do the Jedi becoming who you get in Episode 1, so where there's law, there's order, they're protectors. I do those 3 steps because I think that is a good, here's the start, here's the middle, here's where, and then you can watch the other currently 7, soon to be 8, soon to be 9, maybe even 12, well, eventually 12 other Star Wars films.
Yeah.
But that's what I do with
obviously
the main spin-offs.
The main Star Wars arc is always going to follow what it follows, basically. But with the spin-offs, there's so much license that they've got to be able to basically bring in. I mean, obviously they are going back to the origins of Solo and stuff like that. But I want to go back even further.
Yeah.
I want to go, and the reason I do is because if you're a Star Wars fan, you want to learn about the origins of Star Wars.
That's really the thing. The original, because the Star Wars, before Disney took it over, the Star Wars universe was all over the fucking shop because Lucas had basically gone, "Oh, you want to do something? Yeah, go for it, mate."
Yeah, well, Lucas,
he was throwing his license all over the shop.
George always said that for him, the Star Wars universe is as big as the 3 films. That is the universe.
And then when he made the later 3...
Then obviously, he had the later 3 films, and then that became... So his 6 films are his universe.
Yeah, I know when he originally wrote it, didn't he write... If I remember this right from an interview, he wrote one long movie, which was all 6 movies. Yeah, it was all 6 in one.
Yeah.
And then he chopped it in half at the Anakin point and said... And what he believed was that, which turned out ironically to be true, the latter 3 were a better set.
Yeah.
So because then I think initially he then approached and said, "Well, let's make these 2 movies," and Fox again went, "It's too long, George."
So eventually we got Star Wars
Episode 4.
Well, no, because originally it was still just Star Wars.
Well,
I know it was Episode 4 to him, but to the world it was released as Star Wars, and then obviously we had Empire and Jedi. But that was
released as Episode 5.
Yes.
Because he'd then done interviews during Episode 4 and said, "I've got these 3 that I will release one day." Turns out it was nearly 30 years later.
Yeah.
But, so to him it was the 6. Now I suppose to him it's what will be 12, including the 3 sequels. Because I know he still gets a fair bit of input. It's just he's now got Disney going, "George, slow." He's got someone holding the reins.
Well, it's not just that, but he's now also got much more money behind the production.
But I do think he was always missing. That was the problem with Lucas. He never had anyone above him.
No.
There was no... What he wanted could be the moon, and if it was physically possible, it was doable. But... now he's got someone, or several people now above him going, "George."
I mean, of course, George is still only really. I mean, he's
barely.
He's basically executive producer, and
is there on name? He barely actually.
If you know a lot about the movie world and that sort of thing, you'll find most executive producers are just that.
A guy who sits there in a chair.
Sits there in a chair drinking coffee. He's probably just gone, "Yeah, it's all right," and then that's it.
He'll have gone and he'll have obviously, when he was filming the movies, gone and talked with Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill.
He'd have probably spoken to J.J. Abrams on the 2 that...
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. he'll have spoken to the original three, so Mark, Carrie, and Harrison, definitely, because
and of course the droids, which he's not long seen, but
yeah, he'll have spoken to them, and he'll have spoken to J.J. Abrams, and he'll have spoken to a couple of Star Wars execs. He's probably met the main cast, the new main cast,
yeah,
but in terms of having much to do with anything, Disney basically walked up and go, George, how much for your franchise? Oh, a few $1 billion, there you go, mate.
Yeah.
And walked off into the sunset, singing and dancing with R2-D2 and C-3PO.
That's it.
Going, Jar Jar Binks is dead, Jar Jar Binks is dead.
But
that's pretty much what Disney did.
But in terms of what we think about The Last
yes,
Jedi...
let's get on with it. We've spoken about everything
It's going to be a good film.
Yeah, we can't say much about it because they haven't told us much.
From what we've seen... it's pretty much picking up almost from where it left off.
Which I like.
I think a little bit of time's passed, but you're talking possibly days.
I'm wondering, I think, because obviously the last thing we saw was Rey fucks off and then meets Luke. I'm wondering
in Ireland, by the way, if you're wondering where Skywalker was hiding, he was hiding on a little island off Ireland.
Oh!
That's where they filmed it.
A little island off Ireland.
A little island off Ireland.
Because I know he's supposed to be at the first Jedi Temple is the current theory.
Yeah, where the Jedi started. Yeah. That's where it was all supposed to be.
But I know, obviously what we've got at the minute is we know there's a scene where Kylo Ren says to Rey, "Join me," which we don't know what's going on. I mean, they could do a twist. Rey could go Sith. And the Last Jedi would then be Luke. It could be Luke dies and Rey's the Last Jedi.
You see, for me...
It could be many things.
For me, Finn has still got a little bit too much...
Screen time?
No.
He's too much... He's not...
He's got a little bit too much Force sensitivity in him.
Because they tried to portray him as the Han Solo of that era. But he's too... Han was all... In that universe, I'm not saying Harrison Ford, I'm saying Han Solo, was always the secondary character in that. It was always about Luke and Dom. Whereas in this one, yes, arguably it's supposed to be about Rey and Kylo, but he's got too much presence just to be the Han.
Yeah. To me...
my wallet's stabbing me in the arse.
We've seen in a couple of the other Star Wars films how... certain characters seem to be a little bit more Force sensitive than others.
Yeah.
They've always portrayed that, which explains...
I mean, you've got Yoda, who was, at the time, arguably the most Force sensitive person because he knew right from the get-go, yes, Anakin's going to bring balance to the Force, which he did.
Eventually.
But he's also going to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And Yoda knew that because he was so... But that was his whole race.
Yeah.
The race that Yoda is from were very Force sensitive beings. So Yoda was one of the most Force sensitive.
So we've seen how Han Solo, although not Jedi, had a very small amount of Force sensitivity because of his ability to, albeit clumsily, wield a lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, if you gave a lightsaber
I believe they say in at least one, maybe two films that you can only really wield a lightsaber if you're Force sensitive.
Now, I don't know if this is still canon or not, but the way I understood it at one point, and I don't think this is anymore considered canon, is any idiot can turn on a lightsaber.
Yeah, can turn it on. It's a button.
But to wield it beyond using it as a butter knife, effectively, you have to be able to use the Force because part of the Force is what keeps it as a lightsaber and not blowing up in your hand.
Well, there's that. I mean, obviously,
because
with the idea of the lightsaber, it is a light sword. Now, how much does light weigh? Well, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you can grab the pommel off any old sword and hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
Now try swinging it around doing tricks without slicing your head off.
Yeah. It's
a little bit difficult.
But I'm pretty sure at one point, maybe not in the canon universe anymore.
Well, the idea
if you didn't have some force sensitivity in you,
you couldn't wield it properly.
It could potentially blow up in your hand as well as you slicing your own fucking head off.
Not so much now, I wouldn't have thought, because the technology in the lightsabers is much, much better.
Mm.
But anyway, but we've seen a lot of force sensitivity. Now, either way, Han very clumsily held a sword.
Yeah.
Finn wielded lightsaber.
To be fair, it wouldn't surprise me in the years that Luke was training Jedi I think certainly Han would have helped him teach them certainly combat skills.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if by the end Han wasn't. He was a bit of a dab hand. No Luke,
but Finn is a guy from nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. He was born in a family that he never knew because he was taken away by the First
Galactic,
Order.
That's it.
Taken away by the First Order to become a stormtrooper. Because, by the way, they no longer use clones from Kamino.
Well, the clones will have expired.
No,
now,
not just that though. But Kamino's no longer producing clones.
Yeah, but they'll have all the clones that were there because of their accelerated aging. They'd have died as well by now.
But either way, Finn wasn't just able to pick a lightsaber up, turn it on, and just go and run at this guy. He held his own, albeit not very well, but still held his own pretty well against
Kylo Ren.
Against Kylo Ren, who has been trained by the best Jedi left on the planet.
I mean,
Luke, because Luke did train him mostly.
Well, Luke after the old, I think,
and of course now he's being trained by General Snoke.
I know after the third film, Luke is supposed to have then been trained by Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda, who are the three best Jedi in history ever in the Jedi Order.
Apart from Qui-Gon Jinn, who wasn't there but should have been.
He probably was now that we've. But he's been trained by those three who, especially Anakin, was amazing. Even in all that heavy armor to keep him alive, he was still able to jump around and swing a lightsaber like no fucker's business. So that means he's very fucking good, and no one will argue that. So Luke's meant to have finished his training with 3 ghosts, and then started training,
trying to recruit and train. So Kylo Ren has been trained by Luke, and he's also been trained by General Snoke,
who we still don't know who he is.
No one knows who he is.
Hundreds of theories.
No one knows yet, but then again, there's hundreds of theories on Rey. Is she Obi-Wan's daughter? Is she Luke's daughter?
I don't think.
Is she a secret daughter of Han Solo and
the
fucking
only
Leia?
person I will confirm. There are 2 people I will confirm she is not the daughter of. Yoda, Ron Cutler. I don't think she's Obi-Wan because the idea was.
The only reason that theory came about is because when Rey first picks up Luke's sword, there's a voice that you hear over the top, telling her to calm down, and it's Obi-Wan, and it was actually Ewan McGregor's voice.
But the reason I don't think is obviously Obi-Wan was a true Jedi. He was.
Why would she be being called to Luke Skywalker's sword if she wasn't a fucking Skywalker?
Just him. I don't think she's Obi-Wan's because
I don't.
He was trained as a full Jedi, so he was picked up not as young as he should have been, but still quite young. Not as old as Anakin, but not as young as some of the others. He spent his whole life training, went to be a Padawan under Qui-Gon Jinn, became a knight, became a master, and then let me finish. And then the shit with Vader happened. Well, Anakin happened. He fucked off to Tatooine and lived as a fucking hermit and trained. Now, that is the only chance he had, but I don't think he would have at that point because he's got all that pressure on him.
Yes and no, but at the same time, he was still a young, virile man.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only that, the order in which he'd given his life no longer existed.
So you're wondering,
therefore, he wasn't bound to the same rules anymore. So you're wondering
if at some point he came across some young woman
in Tatooine,
who was
maybe
in need, because it would be in need because that's the
character. Had sex, had a baby, and then thought, I can't
train another Jedi.
I can't train another Jedi because it will mean that we will be able to be found, which means that Luke will be found.
And also, he probably didn't want to because of. He still felt responsible for Anakin.
Yeah, and then he's also in his own head he's probably thinking, I can't keep Rey,
and
train her because it will make us a target.
Then Anakin will sense us,
and then at the same time, I can't leave Luke because I made a promise that I would look after him, and keep him safe. So basically, he keeps her for a while and then takes her to Jakku.
Yeah. It's potential. Yeah,
that's one theory. The other theory that a lot of people are saying is the ship that you see in the footage in the film looks exactly like the ship in the comic book, which is Luke Skywalker's ship.
She could be like. She could be.
So they're the two main dad figures in my mind. It's either Obi-Wan or Luke. Luke is the more likely because of Rey's age. Because Rey would almost certainly be a lot older if she was Obi-Wan's.
Yeah. Although, granted, men never lose fertility naturally.
No, but all I'm thinking is, let's say Rey was born literally the day that Luke left Tatooine. Okay.
So you're saying
with Ben.
He was right.
So let's say
So this is when he leaves Tatooine.
Yeah.
So you're saying he had a bit on the side when he was with him, and the girl had a bit behind the power converters.
Had a baby. Right. She gave birth the same day that he left.
So she goes pop, and the Millennium Falcon goes
just gone. Yeah, just gone. Right. A good amount of years have passed since the end of the Empire and the birth of the First Order.
Well, it's supposed to. Haven't they actually written it that it is the same amount of time between Episode 6 and Episode 1 in the universe as in real time?
I believe so. But either way, Rey would almost certainly be at least 10 years older to 15 years older than what she is now. So
she could just be as somebody who's Force sensitive. She could be that.
But for me, Luke being Luke's child would make a lot of sense.
Luke being Luke's child. Do you want to try that sentence again?
Rey being Luke's child would make a lot of sense. He couldn't train her.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Force has now expanded. Luke can now be his own father. Apparently.
Because the reason I'm thinking she could be Luke's daughter is because he wouldn't want to train her after Kylo Ren.
Yeah. So he goes, here, Duck, you have her, arm off down the pub.
But then you've still got the age gap. Because Rey is about the same age as Kylo. Kylo didn't turn at the age of 6.
Yeah, he would have been a teenager. I'm guessing a teenager because of hormones.
Oh, it's so confusing. Well,
she could be a nobody. She could just
be a nobody.
I mean, one thing I hope, because you got to remember, Anakin was a child of the Force. He didn't have a father in canon anymore. In non-canon, he used to have a father who was a Sith, but in canon, he's not got a father. He was born of. He was born of
Midichlorians.
But if they pull that shit with Rey, I know what's going to happen. Everyone in the cinema is going to hear that line, get up and fuck off. And I hope Star Wars just ignore that.
Yeah, but then again, she hasn't been introduced the same sort of way that Anakin was introduced.
No.
So, and let's be fair, they introduced the new Death Star the exact same way they introduced the old Death Star. So, for me, if they were going to introduce it that way, it should have been introduced different.
More fan service.
And she wouldn't have been given the backstory of basically being left on Jakku at the age of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And plus she knew her parents, her mum and dad, because she said they left her.
That is true.
So she could literally just be
a force sensitive
nobody that just happens to have stumbled upon BB-8 and Poe.
Yeah.
Not Poe. Finn.
Although, I know aren't some people saying she could be related to Luke in being some way related to Uncle Ben and Aunt Peru, because we don't know if they had.
No, they couldn't have children.
Could they not have children?
They couldn't. Was
that established?
They established that they couldn't have children, or they didn't have children after they gave him Luke. After Obi-Wan gave him Luke. Yeah, but I'm
on about before that. There's no reason. They couldn't have had children, right? So just hear me out. And then those children, one of those children is Rey's mum or dad. So it would be...
No, but they didn't.
But they didn't have children before Luke.
No, they did not have any children before Luke. They were still a very young couple. They were only like 19 when they got Luke.
Yeah,
and then obviously Obi gave them Luke.
Yeah.
And asked them to look after him, and they did look after him. And he was an only child all the way through. He only ever had his friends.
Right.
And then obviously they didn't have any more children because they were killed by the stormtroopers. Okay. So
either way, Rey, what comes of Rey, I hope will be answered in this movie.
Unless somehow, like you say, she is born of the Force, but they do it through the spirit of Anakin.
Yeah, or Obi or Qui-Gon or someone
like, I don't know, but we'll find out. I'm sure.
One also thing I want to see is a training session with her and Luke. And holy shit,
30 minutes
we can tell.
Right, we've got to move on because we've done literally 30 minutes of Star Wars.
We're both looking forward to it. Not a lot's been said, so we can't tell you a lot.
December 15th, get your ass to the cinemas. I do believe you can actually pre-book tickets now.
I think you can.
So yeah, get your tickets. I wouldn't worry too much about pre-booking so much because most of your local cinemas aren't going to be packed out.
No.
They might be on the early showings, but I can guarantee even on open day, if you go about, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock, you'll be absolutely
You know what
fine.
I'd say? If you really want to see it day one, go into work, book the 15th of December off, go and watch like the 2:30 showing or the 11:45 showing, because most people will be at work or school.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, we'll move on to the next movie.
Jumanji.
We're gonna touch on this very fucking briefly.
Very briefly. Right, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited to watch it. No.
I quite like the idea because I've seen the new trailer. Have you seen the new trailer?
I think so.
It basically shows the board game getting put away by somebody.
Yeah, I see that.
And then it becomes sentient and infects the video game to become Jumanji.
Right.
So it's the board game knows no fucker plays board games anymore. What do people play? Video games. So it becomes a video game. Now, I ain't bothered about anything else except being able to see Dwayne Johnson basically playing a role he's going to play in a couple of years as Black Adam, because although he's supposed to just be a grown-up man, I've seen some of the trailers and he just sort of boof and the fucker goes flying. Karen Gillan, I'm sorry, she is hot as all fuck.
Well,
Kevin
the thing is with
Hart,
Karen Gillan is she's don't forget, people, she started off as a small town model.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Then got into Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Then went to enter the Marvel Universe as the blue one. Gamora?
No, Gamora's the green one.
The blue one.
Yeah. Gamora's sister.
Gamora's sister. And
Nebula.
And now she's in Jumanji, and to be fair, good on her. She's done really well for a little, for a small town model. And
Kevin Hart is a funny motherfucker. He's always going to be a funny motherfucker.
To be fair, the headline cast: Dwayne Johnson, Karen Gillan, Kevin Hart, Jack Black.
See, Jack Black, I'm looking forward to because I've not seen Jack Black since.
He's not been on a lot, to be fair. Recently.
What was the? We watched it as kids.
School Rock.
Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, Goosebumps.
He did because he played R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
And I really liked him in that. He played R.L. Stein very fucking well. And apparently, what I didn't know when I first watched the film is R.L. Stein's in Goosebumps, the movie, as another character who meets Jack Black. But when he met Jack Black, he personally, because obviously R.L. Stein didn't have a lot to do with that Goosebumps movie.
No.
But he approved personally. He didn't really get a say in it, but he actually really liked Jack Black as him, especially when he saw the movie, because he was like, yeah, he's got a bit of the funny Jack Black because it's Jack Black, but he is a quite good me. Not a perfect one, but no one ever is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. The idea of basically seeing The Rock playing the character of Black Adam, who he is playing in a few years, and just being able to go boof and go flying. Kevin Hart being Kevin Hart, all of them just being really good cast. Solid cast. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it'll revive Jumanji to a new age, and they'll then go and watch the Robin Williams
cult classic.
Give that a bit of life, and it might, respot. Because I have no doubt that if Robin Williams was alive today, the cast would be Dwayne Johnson, Karen Gillan, Kevin Hart, and Robin Williams, not Jack Black. If he was alive today,
maybe. But I think he'd probably still be Jack Black, but no doubt Robin would definitely have had a cameo.
You reckon? See,
I think they'd have referenced it somewhere. They'd have put something in the game which would have referenced the original film.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens. This certainly speaks more to me of the original TV series rather than the movie.
Yes. Okay, so
because in the TV show they went into the game.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
In the movie, the game came to them. So I'm looking forward to this. It'll be a bit of fun.
It does look completely over the top. Which, to be fair, I don't expect anything less when you hear the name Kevin Hart and Jack Black.
No, certainly not. And Dwayne Johnson.
And Dwayne Johnson at the moment, because he is in. I mean, especially when Dwayne and Kevin are together, because them two at the moment they're a really funny comedy duo.
I mean, look, even when Dwayne did the Hercules film, that was still over the top and funny. And for anyone who cares, Pitch Perfect 3 is also coming out. It's called Last Call Pictures. That's about the only other one I can see that's...
Father Figures, new Owen Wilson film. Basically, the idea behind that is that their mum has been lying to them years about who their dead father is. And so the two twin brothers decide to basically go on a road trip to actually find who their dad is. Did look pretty funny, to be fair, in places. Other than that...
oh, wait. Hold on. Scroll up a sec. Just let me have a quick read of that. No, ignore me. Carry on. It's not the one I thought it was.
And yeah.
Scroll up just to make sure there's nothing before Star Wars or anything. No. Oh, wait. What was that kids' film that's coming out?
Ferdinand with John Cena.
So if you've got...
I believe that's actually about bullfighting, I believe.
Right.
Or
so
some description.
Something for your kids. It is a kids' film.
Yeah, it is a kids' film.
And
that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it, guys. So
right,
your movies, slim pickings for December, but unfortunately not as slim
as games.
As your games. We have had to resort to this.
Well, basically, in games, you've got Resident Evil 7, the re-release.
Yeah, Gold Edition.
The Gold Edition, which is basically Resident Evil 7 plus the Resident Evil 7 Leon Kennedy DLC.
All the DLCs.
So if you've already got most of the DLC, you ain't even going to be interested.
Just buy the other DLCs.
Just buy the other DLC, yeah.
It's got no graphic upgrades, no sound upgrades.
Then you've got Fallout VR, Fallout 4 VR.
Great, I can play Fallout 4 and get headache even quicker this time.
Yeah, so...
To give you an idea, guys, last time I played Fallout 4, it was on a free demo from Steam for the weekend. I played it. It wasn't the game's fault. I got headache because I wasn't wearing my fucking glasses, which I normally do except when I'm recording.
Well, you'd have to with Fallout 4. There's tons of reading.
But I didn't. So I'm playing. I started getting headache. Now, I'm not blaming the game, but my joke is that with VR, I'll get it even fucking quick because you can't wear a VR headset and your glasses.
No. So what we've decided on is Hello Neighbour. Now, the reason we decided on it is because, well, it's the only game that looks
it's been out on PC as a demo and been getting steady updates. But here comes the full game.
Here comes the full game. Now, if you've not heard about Hello Neighbour basically is a stealth horror survival type game.
Yeah.
But you're fighting against one man. And that man is controlled by a very fucking intelligent AI.
Yeah.
Now, the AI in this game learns how you play.
Yeah.
And then uses that to kick your ass.
But also, the game is fair in the sense that, say the first time you enter through the front door.
Yeah.
You will always have a nut. So in the after you die, because inevitably on your first run through,
you are going to die. Unless you've watched every walkthrough and memorised the best route.
Yeah. He will then do something to the front door. Put a bear trap there is one way. So your other ways to enter are, you've got the back door, you've got side windows, you've got ladders, you've got loads of stuff to get in. There's always a way in that won't be blocked off because the game will give you a way in. But you've got to think of how to get round everything.
The more outside of the box you can be, the better
you will play. Because the AI will, as good as the AI is, it will still struggle to learn.
Yes. So the idea is it's very simple. You need to find out what he's hiding in his basement. And the way you need to do that is you need to gain access to his house, and then you need to basically solve puzzles in his house to access the basement. Of course, while you're in his house, he's going to be looking for you.
Yeah, he is looking for you. And your only defence is run away.
Yes, run away. Because if he catches you, it's game over.
I want children to knock at your door and tell and shout that they found the house of Colonel Runaway.
And then, once he's found you, he's going to learn.
Yeah.
And he's going to
so he's going to enter through that window, go this way.
So he entered through the front door and then ran straight into the pantry where he picked up this. So we need to make sure that's moved. move that, and then
so yeah. Right. So there's another thing. If one of the keys was in the pantry, it will not ever be in the pantry again.
No, he will move it. Now, of course, there is obviously going to be a way to reset the AI to start a way.
You can. The way the game works is you can restart your run, but that will continue the AI's learning, or you can start a new game which will reset everything.
Now, of course, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, surely the answer to that is if you fail one way, then you restart the whole game and start a new game so the AI is reset.
You
could do that, but
that's not the point of the game.
But of course, even if you do that, he's still going to catch you more than likely on the first time round. Because the way I believe this game is going to be is that the first time you're going to get caught, regardless of, even if you've watched every walkthrough and know the way round and how to do it and timed everything to a perfect key, he's going to catch you because it's still an AI. He might be told, right, so you've still got to go look in these rooms, but no one's telling him which rooms he's got to look in first.
Yeah, it will be hard to do it on your first. If you do this on your first go, I hope you were fucking recording, because Sunshine, post that to fucking YouTube, and then at the end put your playtime on fucking Steam of 30 minutes or whatever, because fuck me, that's an accomplishment.
Yes.
And you have done bloody well, because you deserve. You will get 10 trillion views.
I mean, the graphics of the game look actually quite nice.
Oh, they're not. They're simple.
They're simple, yes, but it's
we're not.
It's
sort of.
Getting, it's very cartoonesque.
Yeah, we're not getting AAA graphics.
But it looks beautiful enough to me.
It does.
I like the whole premise of the game. I like the AI's learning capability.
Yeah.
It's coming out on December the 8th for the Xbone and the PC.
Although technically it's out on the PC, but only the demo, so this will be the full release.
This will be the full release.
I don't know. I'm assuming, guys, I don't know the way it's worked on Steam, but I'm assuming if you've already paid for the game as the demo, I'm assuming you get the full release anyway.
Or if the full release is a lot more, they may deduct. I don't know. You may just end up having to pay full price.
You may do, but I'm unsure. You'll have to wait and see.
But it's coming out December 8th. It looks really interesting. Go and have a look. There's some. There's a lot of gameplay videos out there. And yeah, I think if you like puzzle games or you like stealthy games, and that sort of thing, I think it's really going to be a game for you, because that is basically the entire game. But if you want to experience that challenge of fighting against something that is learning how you play,
yeah,
then this could definitely be a game for you. And I mean, the way I see it is this is eventually going to be the way of gaming.
Yeah,
the AI is going to break into the gaming market on a much bigger scale. And
oh yes, I mean, I definitely think, for example, Outlast 2. You guys know I panned that game to high hell and back. If Outlast 2 had better AI, certainly the game would have jumped in my recommendation. Probably not to an amazing game, but to an alright game from a bag of shit.
So. But yeah, Hello Neighbour. If you've got an Xbone or a PC and you want to play it, I don't believe graphically it's going to be taxing.
No, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't imagine so.
I would imagine you can. I wouldn't say run it on anything, but certainly run it on your more low end, even potentially not even gaming PCs, but just have a little bit of graphic power. But I don't know. I've not seen the specs. No. Obviously, they never released the specs this early. But yeah.
Before we get on to the news, I just want to say that this month I have been and seen some movies. I've seen Thor Ragnarok, I've seen Justice League, I've also seen Jigsaw. Jigsaw, actually very good. It's certainly, the movie is very good. It fools you. It's much better. It goes back to the original, I'm going to say trilogy, because the first three I think were the more solid films than the later ones. So Jigsaw, really good film, going back to its roots a bit more. Go watch it. It's worth going to see. I've seen Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was a bit of a disappointment for me. Now, I love the Planet Hulk, the World War Hulk, and the Thor Ragnarok storylines. And unfortunately, why the stories were told, there was too much blatant comedy in it for me, even in serious moments. You can go see it. I wouldn't waste your money at the cinema. I would wait for VD. And I've also been recently and seen Justice League. That I would definitely recommend going to the cinema. It brings all 6 of the characters together. It brings their powers and abilities into scale very well, of how they've always been in the comics. Finally, they're getting shown in the movies how they should be. Because even Superman in the Christopher Reeve Superman, because I'm going off those, they weren't as strong. He certainly wasn't as strong or as fast as he should have been. He always had his lower abilities, but in the Justice League movie, Superman shows his full power of I am Superman, I'm fast, I'm strong. Wonder Woman shows her strength and speed.
Can we just say spoiler alert, because you're not supposed to know that Superman's in the Justice League movie.
He is. You honestly.
I know he is. Just off the adverts. Anyone off a brain cell knows he's in it.
I'm going to spoil this for anyone.
You've already spoiled it.
His name, you know, at the start when they show the initial starting credits, about 5 seconds into the movie, and his name's there. It says, what's his name? Who plays Ben Affleck? Next name. Henry Cavill. Yeah. Very next name. So it's just like, well, there we go then. That's that.
But either way, really sorry for spoiling it if you hadn't worked out that Superman.
But if you hadn't, I'm sorry. I recommend you go see a doctor. But yeah, it shows all their powers and abilities very well.
Good.
I recommend it. Above Thor Ragnarok. I'm looking forward to seeing what Marvel and DC come out with in the future. I did see a Black Panther trailer while I was watching Justice League. That looks fucking amazing. Yeah. That I will definitely be going to see. But anyway, now, so yeah.
Right, it's still sort of gaming news, but this is a Metro news story, so we're cheating.
We're cheating, we're combining two. So, as we all know, Star Wars, Battlefront, EA2, fuck me, EA, what have you done? You've bought the wrath of Disney on them, for those of you who didn't know. Basically, with their loot box gambling mechanic, although temporarily disabled, it actually says right there, Disney forces EA to remove in-game purchases from Star Wars Battlefront. Basically, Disney got wind of all the controversy that's been going off with the gambling and loot gaming mechanics and went, fuck. And got hold of EA and said, what are you doing to our property? Because Disney own that, and when Disney owns something, you don't fuck with it. Why do you think games cost so much? But yeah, so this is basically Belgium and Hawaii have, I believe, outlawed this game.
No, well, from what I've just... They want to ban the in-game purchasing, the loot box mechanic.
That's what... Because
not the game, but the loot box mechanic.
Gambling. Yes, which it is. Because you get a loot box and you have
obviously,
a chance of getting something.
Obviously, a tag into the fact if EA conclude they're not going to remove the loot box mechanic from their game, then ipso facto the game
probably won't come out.
Either won't come out, or when the game does come out,
they'll block access to the servers on there.
Yeah, it'll have to be access blocked or some way. But either way, it's gonna mean, for me, I want to get rid of all of this fucking microtransaction.
I have no problem with loot boxes if it's a skin or a cosmetic.
I have no problem with loot boxes if it isn't the only way to progress in a game.
Yes, if it blocks you from progressing in a game or getting gear, or you have to grind for a stupid amount of time to get the gear, that's where I've got a problem. If it's a skin that put, I don't know, say for this, if all their loot boxes had was three other outfits for Anakin, fuck it. I didn't give a shit what my characters look like ever in a game.
No.
If that's all it is, that's fine, because what I'll do is I'll play, and as I get in-game currency through progression for a loot box, yeah, I'll buy it and open it, but I'm not going to buy it with real money.
No.
That I don't have. If you want to spend your money to make Anakin look 7 different ways, that's your call. But they're forcing us here to buy games. To buy the games.
This is the problem. I mean, we've been over this before with microtransactions and micro purchasing in games. obviously it's so prominent in the mobile market.
Yeah, they're all making a free game, and the publishers can rake in thousands of dollars from.
I mean, obviously, right. So I get it. Advertising. The only in-app purchase I agree with 9 times out of 10 is the buy no ads one. If it's reasonably priced.
Because normally it's only about 99p or 1.99,
something like that. But only if I rate the game enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, see, the issue a lot of people have had with this as well is it's an $80 game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're spending $80, 60 quid, whatever, if you're spending that kind of money on a game, you want the whole pie.
See, you
don't want a slice of the pie. You want the whole pie.
The only thing I would ever lock in a game of that amount will be, you know how normally there's like an easy, medium, hard, and then ultra hard difficulty. I don't mind if the ultra hard is locked until you complete the game on normal, for example. That I don't mind, because it's like, yeah, you need to know, because what that's basically saying is
you've got no hope.
You've got no hope until you've played it once, and that also is smart on the game publishers.
It makes you want to attempt.
Well, it's not just that. It stops them getting shit reviews by some knobhead going, yeah, I'm really fucking good at games, I'll play it on ultra hard first time. Dies within 2 seconds because they don't know the enemy's attack patterns.
Yeah.
That I don't mind at all. But that's the only sort of thing that should be locked in a $60 title. If you've got trading cards in your, collectible cards that if you kill 100 enemies without getting hit, you get a card. That, again, I don't mind because it's an extra. It doesn't do anything. It's a pretty thing to look at. Those things I don't mind, but they're locking content.
Yeah.
They have locked Rey, Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan. I think it's those 3. There are 3 of them. There are more. If I gave you a Star Wars game, who the fuck are you going to want to play as? Probably one of those 3.
I mean, while we're on this story, obviously on the other side, there's a lot of information about, all of this.
The legal side of it.
Of stuff. The first one is the fact that Darth Vader currently takes 40 hours of gameplay to unlock.
And that's without purchasing.
That's without purchasing. So 40... So... Let's talk about this another way. Most of us have got a 9-to-5 job of some description, okay?
Yeah.
Which means you've probably got 4 to 5 hours a night.
8 hours a day.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Let's say then you've got, say, 4 hours of gameplay time when you get home.
And a lot of people don't even have that.
No,
because
but
by the time you've eaten, put your kids to bed.
Let's just say 4 hours, okay?
Yeah.
Right, so 4 hours of gameplay time, that's 10 days just to unlock one character. I'm not being funny, but in most games, after about 4 days of playing it, especially if it's repetitive shit, I'm like, yeah, I need a new game, mate.
Yeah, and the problem is that you've got to remember that is.
I mean, yes, there is a solo player campaign,
but that's also locked after 3 hours.
Yeah.
So you can then only play that for 3 hours per day. It resets every 24 hours, but that's only 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
So that takes even longer. But these matches. I don't play online competitive a lot, but I can normally only play 1 or 2 matches, so that's half an hour, maybe.
Yeah, but there is a lot of people out there that play these matches, and they'll be on them for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh yeah,
right. But even so, that's what they're still saying. Even if you did that, you're still going to take about 40 hours to unlock Darth Vader. So that's just Darth Vader. He's supposed to be the most expensive in the game.
It's him. I'm pretty sure it's him, Luke, and Rey are the 3.
So that's 40 hours. So that's 1 week, 10 days you've just spent just to get Darth Vader. So that's 20 days to get Darth Vader and Skywalker. Another 30 days. 30 days in total if you want to unlock the 3 top tier characters.
Month to get the 3 best characters.
Of gameplay.
And
of doing the same shit over and over again. And that's just if during the multiplayer games you do well.
And the loot boxes have to drop right. Because remember, when you win, you get the in-game currency. You then spend the in-game currency on buying the boxes that have a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're ridiculous. Belgium, Hawaii, well done.
Yeah,
I agree.
By the way, it's not just the Belgium Gambling Commission that's on about this as well. They are apparently a lot of the EU is
they're calling for the EU to do the same. Also, apparently, in regards to the game itself, looking on the right, there's too much in terms of the dark side. And for those of you who think, oh, that's fine. I'll just spend my hard-earned cash and unlock everything. So you just spent $80 on the game. I've just seen on the side there, it costs $1,600 to unlock everything. So you are spending 1,000...
Or, according to fan calculations, it'd take 188 days to unlock all the content in Battlefront 2. But paying for loot boxes is not a cheap alternative.
Yeah,
because that would come to £1,600.
So you spend £1,700 on a game. Fuck off, go and buy a car.
Or you could half each. You could half each and drop £1,000.
Oh,
drop £1,000 in loot boxes and then spend, you know, another 94 days.
But they have gone too far with this.
Yeah, basically.
EA, you done fucked up. And do you want to know what I say the solution to this is? Boycott EA. Because you got to remember, every time a game is released, all of their money.
Not being funny, but what EA titles are coming out now? That
all game developers, big or small, their money is generally made within the first 30 days of release. Most of their money is made at that point. If you wait a year, A, you're going to get these games a lot fucking cheaper. And B, their money will be in tatters. And they will force them where these loot boxes cost them money. And they will soon backpedal. That is my advice to you guys.
Well...
But yeah, for a full breakdown of what's been going on in EA, we've linked him before. Go watch Sid Alpha. He's been covering this so fucking hard. But yeah, Belgian and Hawaiian lawmakers want to get rid of them.
Get rid of loot boxes completely.
And for now, basically they have.
Right, moving on. So, carrying on with the Metro. Man's fury after bagless Dyson arrives with 14 bags. Now, not on about Hoover bags. No. It came packaged in 14 bags. But here's the best bit. This man rang his council to complain about it. Like, for a start off, did you buy the Dyson from the council? No. So, who do you think you should call? Dyson. Right. So, why would you call the council?
Yeah, either call Dyson or the motherfuckers who sold it,
yeah.
One or t'other.
Right. So he's this pissed off. Do you know what the council told him to do? Oh, just put it in the bin. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, but if someone rang me up and gone, oh, I've just bought this bagless vacuum, but it came packaged in 14 bags. Right. So take the parts out of the bags, put your Hoover together, and put the bags in the bin.
Or, if you really want to use them, right, because I'm guessing they were only little bags.
It was just literally all the parts of this cordless vacuum came packaged in their own separate plastic bags.
So if it's still a good bag, right, because they're only going to be little ones, put it next to your kettle and put your tea bags in it. If you want to reuse them, right, because then when that bag's full, you tie it up, drop that in the bin, and you don't end up with that horrible tea bag shit at the bottom.
Put them in your little waste paper bins.
Or put them in your little waste paper bins.
But he's mad because obviously there was 14 plastic bags that packaged it all up. And he wanted, basically, to complain. So he rang his council. Why? So I think what he was hoping was that he said I rang South Gloucestershire Council to ask what to do with it all, and they just told me to put it in the bin.
Actually, to be fair, he's got some of the bags on the side. They look pretty decent size. Keep them. Put rubbish in them.
Yeah.
And then chuck that in.
I mean, look, I get it, right? It says it's a bagless vacuum and it comes bagged up, right? But the bagless bit doesn't know about the packaging. Now, the reason that the packaging is a lot of plastic bags is because it's a brand new Hoover. Now, I know that it's useless to pick up dust, but when you buy it, they don't want it
covered
in dust. They want you to buy it and look like it was fresh out of the factory, because it is. So it's wrapped up in plastic.
What you'll also probably find is these plastic bags are probably recycled plastic bags, because a lot of manufacturers are on that kick now of using recycled plastic.
But I've had to include it, guys.
It is stupid.
It's just because, why ring the council? On the back of the box, it probably says if you're unhappy, if you're not entirely happy with your purchase, please contact Dyson Care.
Yeah.
Call Dyson and go, look, mate, right, I'm not being funny, but it's a bagless vacuum. It's got 14 bags.
Here we go. A Dyson spokesman advised the plastic bags could be recycled at local supermarkets. We do reduce the amount of materials we use. our packaging is evolving to minimise environmental impact. So 85% of the cardboard Dyson used is recycled. So the cardboard's already mostly recycled.
So what they're saying is the plastic bags are recyclable, which means that they'll probably have a recycle label on them.
Yeah.
Point 1. Point 2, the cardboard is obviously recyclable. It's cardboard. So what they've given you there, sir, isn't a load of waste. They've given you a load of recycling.
Yeah.
Which will keep the council happy, because they like to take the recycling away.
Yeah.
Keeps the bin man in the job. So
that's the thing. A bin man will never moan at there being rubbish because
that's his job.
That's his job. If there's no rubbish, mate, they're out of a job.
So basically, mate, I'm sorry, but
you're whinging over fuck all, knobhead.
Yeah, sit down, mate. What a bellend. Right.
This one tickled me when I saw it.
Right. Okay.
Teenager gets driving licence with address as my dad's house.
Yeah. And not only that, not only did she put it on the form, but the fucking government printed the licence, and her address literally is Patterson, Miss Eve, number 8, line number 8 on your driver's licence. My dad's ass, somewhere in Scotland. Well,
the fact they accepted this is beyond reproach. DVLA, what's wrong with you?
Probably because they actually think that's what the house that's potentially what the house is called.
Because they've got names now, haven't they? Like.
Yeah. Lots of houses have got names, so...
Does that mean her dad now has to ring council and go, excuse me, I'm at number 48, I'd like to apply to have my house called My Dad's Ass?
Yeah.
Is that all that means?
But the best bit is the DVLA is saying, look, love, unfortunately, it was your mistake, so you've got to pay for it if you want to have it fixed.
Yeah.
But more to the point, why would you put it on, the internet?
Like, she's nuts.
I wouldn't. I mean, I could just imagine filling down
can be
form.
a matter of personal choice. Yeah, that's true. You can, if you put that on, you can I think there is a way you can contact your local council and have your house named.
Yeah, you can. But the thing is that the post office will more than likely still post any post to number 1 or number 2 or number 47.
I'm sure there's a way to get it done, but you have to do it.
It takes
legally,
ages.
Yeah.
It takes ages.
Does it? I've never looked into it.
But at the end of the day,
you look into this random shit. Don't
but at the end of the day, it just makes me howl because of the fact that it's like what was going through her head when she was going through.
I mean, did she just think they'd send it back?
I don't know, but it must have been like on the form, like name, right? So my name's Eve, Sarah, and then surname Patterson. Right, okay. Where do you live? My dad's house, Scotland. Like,
my dad.
Like,
what did she think that they were going to be able to go? All right, who's Mrs. Eve? Oh right, her dad's Fred Sarah. Let's put his address. What in the cock, love?
It's just funny.
She's.
Right, moving on to something a little bit more sinister. Amazon Black Friday deal page has an offer on at the minute. Do you know what it's for, mate? Do you know what it's for?
What's it for? I can see it, but what's it for? You tell me.
It's for mats that give
doormats?
No, mate. Electric shock mats for your animals.
I've got rats that'll fucking kill. I don't know, I've got rats.
So basically...
Is it for your rats?
No, it's for your dogs and for your cats, mate, to keep them off your furniture. So instead of you...
No, because when we were training my dog, if we didn't want him on it was get out and point at the floor.
Mate, no, newfangled methods, mate. You put literally an electrified mat on your furniture.
What happens if I sit down on that by accident?
You'll get a little electric shock up your arse, mate. It's powered by a 9-volt battery.
I remember when I was very young, I
not only that,
a 9-volt battery, and you touch your tongue on
not only that, mate. It's got 3 power settings: low, medium, and high.
But I once touched my tongue on a 9-volt battery, and I was a kid, and it made me tongue numb for ages.
I don't understand. Why is this?
I was about 9, by the way, guys. Before you think I'm that stupid now.
Why does this product even exist?
I mean, it's got to be some Korean or Japanese creators.
Not only that, it's had £9 knocked off the price for Black Friday.
Oh, £9? Oh, I'll buy 2 then. I'll put one on my sofa, one on my chair, and kill me dog.
They are
fucking
stupid
idiots, man.
How much are they?
How much are they? They are
£32.59.
£33? You can fuck off.
So it's done as indoor electronic pets training static shock mat. Scat mat. Safe for cat. Fucking hell, mate. How many ats in that sentence? And dog. 48 inches by 20. So it's a bloody big one, mate. Best place for that. Wait till someone's in the shower, mate.
Oh, fucking hell.
Wait till
You're trying to kill him?
Wait till someone's in the shower, stick it on high and leave it as the bath mat. And wait for him to step out. It'd be like that scene from Home Alone, mate.
Look like Albert Einstein coming out of shower. Mate, if you did that to your missus, I'd be getting that phone call. Can I stop at yours? Yeah, what you done? Well, I bought that fucking electric dog mat. You twat, get here.
It just looks sinister as hell.
It does.
It's basically a load of electric cabling wired round in a spiral across this silicone-y type mat that's powered by a 9-volt battery. It's advertised as a pet training mat. Now,
no,
you don't train your pets by electrocuting them. It's just not the way you do it. You talk to them, you train them.
Blue Cross animal behaviourists said we encourage pet owners to use positive reinforcement for non-aggressive matters such as shot mats. Yes, you say get down, and when they get down, when you train them, give them a biscuit, and they'll put 2 and 2 together and say, if I'm on the floor, I get biscuits. If I'm up there, I get told to get down.
Yeah.
Pets aren't that dumb, guys. They're actually pretty fucking smart, your cats and your dogs.
Well, not if you're a Tory.
If you're a Tory?
No, have you not heard?
No.
Sorry to go political, but the Tories have said basically that all animals aren't sentient, so they can't feel emotion. Apart from humans.
Aren't dolphins on the same level as intelligence as humans?
They're believed to be surpassed. But either way, they are saying that all animals other than humans are non-sentient. They basically have no emotions or anything.
I swear it was proven that dolphins are at least on the same level as us.
You can't talk to a Tory about facts. They don't listen.
I tell you what, right?
A fact to a Tory is fiction, and a fiction to a Tory is fact.
But animals don't have emotion. What about when you hear them fireworks? Just been bonfire night. Fireworks going off. That's not the dog being upset, is it?
Apparently not. Not if you're a Tory. Anyway, let's not.
Anyone got a shotgun I can fucking borrow? I'm going to London tomorrow.
Yeah, don't say shit like that, mate, because you know everything's being monitored, so we'll probably just have some armed unit.
MI5, I'm here.
Let's go.
They're fucking mental. Oh, fucking come at me, bro. Fucking mental bastards.
Right, next story. This is just another one of them comical type funny ones.
To end us off today.
So, basically, can you see why this statue at a Catholic school needed covering up? Well, frankly...
It's a patron saint of some description.
Basically, right, it's a saint and a loaf of bread in his hand, and he's handing it to a child. Now, because the loaf of bread is around his waist, although if his penis is that high... he's got problems.
Because it looks like it's coming out his belly button. It really does. But
either way, this loaf of bread, which you can quite clearly see it's a loaf of bread, because if you had slices down your end of your cock, you need to go and see a doctor.
Yeah.
And basically, this school has had to cover this up because parents and people have been complaining because it looks like
he's trying to get the kids to suck him off.
Basically, it looks like this little boy is cradling the saint's balls while the saint is holding on to his Johnson.
Not Dwayne. Not Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Although, by the size of it, mate, it could be.
It could be Dwayne's cock.
But either way...
Dwayne, if you are watching our podcast, does your cock look anything like that?
Basically...
And if you are watching our podcast, where's the shout out, you bastard?
To me, this is ridiculous. There is nothing wrong with that statue.
No,
it looks like a loaf of bread.
Is this in America?
Probably. Let's move down, shall we, a little bit. St. Martin's in Adelaide in Australia. For some reason I'm talking like Ned from South Park. Stop.
Do you want to try that again?
Yeah, basically it's in Adelaide. So this is in Australia, mate. Good night. Good night. What makes me laugh is it looks so much worse now it's been covered up.
It does. Because now it looks like black.
Now it looks like the priest has covered themselves in a cloak and he's wrapped the child up in the cloak, and now because you can still see the child's foot.
Yeah.
So now it looks like the little child is basically under the priest's cloak. So now, arguably, it looks worse.
Do you want to know what that looks more like to me? A fucking woman in a burqa.
This looks worse to me.
It's mad. Parents, you're mad.
But right, yeah, so we've been droning on mainly about Star Wars for too long and then the rest for too little.
Yeah. Sorry, we love our Star Wars.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for this episode. Because to be fair, guys, we've got another one to record like literally in 10 minutes. So
yeah. And also, guys, now we are on SoundCloud.
Yes, we are now on SoundCloud. So please keep...
Will we be up when this is... No, basically... I'll explain it for this. SoundCloud, if you're listening, your new episode should be out next week, and you'll be up to date with YouTube. Yeah. So for our SoundCloud listeners, if you want to, there is a YouTube side, but the new one will be released next week in accordance with the one on YouTube. But YouTube, we are now all on SoundCloud. I know it uses less battery on your phone. You can download them for offline use, so you can save your data. But it'll be out, I think the first episode's going out in about a week. 1st of December. I'm uploading one a day starting the 1st of September then.
So basically by Christmas, all of the current episodes that are online will be on SoundCloud.
And then they'll be released the same day on YouTube as SoundCloud. And yeah, just you can have a listen.
So you can either watch some random screens of
that's the thing.
Sliding around, or you can just listen.
Yeah, you can have
most people do.
I was going to say I would advise for all of these, you just put it on your computer or your phone and go about your day while listening. But now we're on SoundCloud, so you can use less data and just listen to us rather than see static images for half hour at a time. But yeah, guys. So thank you for watching and or listening.
And bye.
Bye.